The morning began like any other, but by the end of the week, a decorated National Guardsman had vanished without a trace. His truck would later be found abandoned less than a mile from home. His phone had gone silent. He missed work without explanation, something co-workers said was completely unlike him. At first, it looked like another missing person investigation. Then detectives uncovered evidence that transformed the case into one of Utah's most disturbing homicide investigations. Prosecutors would later allege that the disappearance wasn't spontaneous at all. They say it followed a failing marriage, a secret affair, and a carefully planned effort to erase every trace of what happened inside the family home. The investigation would eventually lead to murder charges against the missing man's wife. But one unexpected witness would change everything. According to investigators, the breakthrough didn't come from surveillance cameras or forensic testing. It came from the very man prosecutors say was having an affair with the suspect. Matthew Johnson served in the Utah National Guard and, according to those who knew him, maintained a structured routine. Family responsibilities, military service, and work filled his days. Behind closed doors, however, prosecutors say the marriage had deteriorated. Court documents described Jennifer Gledhill and Matthew Johnson as estranged. Investigators later learned the relationship had become increasingly unstable in the months leading up to Johnson's disappearance. Records reviewed during the investigation indicated there had been previous attempts to obtain protective orders during the marriage. Court investigators reportedly concluded that those requests were unsupported and described the relationship as highly conflict-driven. Those earlier legal disputes would later become part of the broader investigation into what prosecutors believe happened inside the couple's Salt Lake City home. At the time, however, none of this was public. To neighbors, life appeared relatively normal. No one could have imagined the investigation that was about to unfold. The last known days. According to charging documents, the last confirmed interactions between Matthew Johnson and his wife occurred around September 20th and September 21st. Prosecutors allege that Johnson had recently learned about an extramarital relationship involving Jennifer Gledhill. Investigators believe this discovery led to a confrontation inside the home. Exactly what happened during those final hours remains a matter for the courts, but prosecutors allege that the argument became the beginning of a deadly sequence of events. Authorities allege that, while Johnson was asleep, he was shot in the head inside the couple's bedroom. Those allegations remain central to the criminal case. At this stage of the investigation, however, no one outside the home knew anything had happened. Life continued. Neighbors carried on with their routines. Coworkers expected Matthew Johnson to report for work, but he never arrived. Days passed. Johnson's phone stopped responding. Messages went unanswered. Calls went directly to voicemail. For friends and coworkers, that behavior immediately raised concern. Eventually, one of Johnson's co-workers contacted law enforcement and requested a welfare check after he failed to return to work. What initially appeared to be a routine missing person report quickly drew investigators' attention. When officers spoke with Jennifer Gledhill several days later, she reported that she had not seen her husband since an argument days earlier. According to court records, she told officers that Johnson had said he planned to leave for about a week and instructed her not to contact him. Investigators documented that she appeared distracted and nervous during portions of that conversation. By itself, that observation proved nothing, but detectives would later compare those statements with digital evidence, witness interviews, and forensic findings. As the pieces slowly came together, investigators began questioning whether Matthew Johnson had ever voluntarily left home at all. While detectives continued gathering physical evidence, another development would dramatically change the investigation. An unidentified man contacted police. According to prosecutors, he admitted that he had been involved in an extramarital relationship with Jennifer Gledhill. At first, investigators could not know whether his information was reliable, but what he allegedly described would soon become one of the most significant elements of the prosecution's case. According to charging documents, the man told detectives that Jennifer Gledhill contacted him shortly after Matthew Johnson disappeared. She reportedly arrived at his home late at night, visibly upset. During subsequent conversations, the informant claimed she described what had happened inside the family home. Those alleged admissions would become a major focus of investigators, but detectives would still need independent evidence to determine whether his account matched the physical facts. And according to prosecutors, they would soon begin finding exactly that.